YouTube, Isaac, going the Goat House is back with another NFL offseason plan video. This one for the New England Patriots, who actually is surprisingly in a somewhat of a rough spot for their offseason. And we'll kind of break down what I mean and how we can fix it here. In these videos, I play GM, make some cuts, try to solve the cap space situation, re-sign players, make major signings in free agency, and then do a 7-round NFL mock draft. Doing this for every single NFL team, going in draft order. Full NFL content here all year long. We actually have a newer channel, the Goat House Plus. You'll find a link down below, description, comments. Please subscribe to that. We're trying to match the subscribers on both the channels, so we need your help there. And then you'll find our Twitter and Instagram link down below, description and in the comments. Daily post, always talking football and answering questions on that Twitter. So to me, it's a must follow there. But first thing I like to do, kind of break down, evaluate the depth, the roster. Guys in red are going to be free agents, and kind of look at the top. Yeah, receiver unit needs to get better, but I'm a huge N'Keal Harry fan. He was my number one receiver in the draft class last year. I'm sticking to it, and he will be big time this year as long as he's healthy. So I think people are came off hurt and a little, it can't judge N'Keal Harry off last year. Basically, what I'm getting to. So I'm really looking forward to watching him this next year. But they definitely could use more help, specifics in the receiver unit, I guess. We'll get to that. Offensive line really didn't perform the way it did, the way we're used to seeing it, really. Possibly Tom Brady's worst offensive line, it's in the successful era. They could use the left tackle, Isaiah Wynn, injured and not the most impressive, but just keeps getting hurt. And then Joe Tooney, who's big time for them. They need to re-sign him back. But other than that, on paper, it looks pretty good. So I think it's not a stretch for them to get the offensive line back and playing. Tight end, missing Gronk. It shows how good Gronkowski is, with the difference. But, there is a big difference, Gronkowski to, this unit. So definitely need to upgrade that. That might actually be more important than the receivers. But we'll see. Running back, you never know what they're up to with the running back. I like Sony Michel. I've always liked Sony Michel. Wish they can get him. Hopefully they can get him going a little more this year. Looking at the defense, really evaluating this defense, it's kind of surprising at how good they play. The secondary was lights out, and then you got the linebacker duo, Jamie Collins did play pretty well, but the defensive line, basically what I'm getting to is they can get better in a lot of spots, and especially with the free agents they have. So, and they got a lot of aging players, and they have limited cap space with a lot of free agents, and that's why it's kind of a rough spot. So we'll kind of break that down here. Who am I cutting? Mohamed Sanu, it hurts a little bit because he just traded a second-round pick for him, but you desperately need cap. I know $42 million seems like a lot. Really, in today's NFL, it's not a whole bunch. You're going to need more based on who your free agents are and the additions you need to make, because you don't want to go in with the same exact team. So you cut Mohamed Sanu, save the 6.5. Burkhead, even though they liked it, people might have a problem with that one. They may not actually do it because, Belichick likes Burkhead. They use him a bit. He's in his 30s now. It's not going to make or break your team. You need more cap space saved. $3 million, you save it. Brandon King, if you can save $1 million, you go ahead there. Matt Lacoste, over $1 million. And then McCourty's a tough one too, because he's been playing pretty well, especially where he's at in his age, his career, but saving $3.8 million, and again, kind of where he's going, he's aging. So that's kind of the route I went, because again, I can't stress enough, they need more cap space. They even need more than the 57.7 that we bumped them up to. So we bumped them up a good amount, but so that's why it's tough. Even guys like Patrick Chung, that's been crucial to them. They could cut him even, but it's not. I think it's around $2 million. It's not saving enough. You're still getting rid of a good player. And then who are you going to resign? If you don't resign Tom Brady, you might be in trouble. He might. I don't really like. And there's some good free agent quarterbacks. I don't really like that many of them for the Patriots. I guess Jameis Winston would be intriguing. It would be interesting. They would probably make him a lot better, which I think he will play better no matter where he is this year. But that's interesting. I just don't see him on the Patriots. Maybe Bridgewater's the only one. But you might as well just try to get Tom Brady back. I'm kind of making that a priority, along with some other. Kyle Van Noy is so important in that defense. The amount he does for that defense, playing off the ball linebacker and almost being an edge rusher, getting pressure, whether it's blitzing or, like I said, edge rush. He's so important in that defense. You sign him. Joe Tooney, one of the better guards in football. Still, I would consider somewhat young. on the younger side. So I think that's a priority to get him back. And, I mean, there's a lot of guys you would like back. I mean, and Danny Shelton, which could be somewhat cheaper, but he actually played pretty well for them last year, and he's a true nose tackle. And it's really, today's NFL, rare to come across nose tackles that are decent even. So that actually might be pretty big for them to get him back for the right price. It's tough with guys like Devin McCourty, played so well for them. I mean, you would love him back, but at this point, you're starting to run out of cap space pretty much altogether. And McCourty aging, but even though he's still playing at a high level, it's, and to me, they can find a way. They always got that next DB stepping up. To me, that's kind of the best way, save money in that area. It's very tough, though. I hate it, like kind of leaving McCourty out. You kind of hate it, but it almost might be the way they have to go. There's rumors that Tom Brady could be going elsewhere. It's the Titans, the Raiders, that's starting to all pick up. So it's getting weird. It's getting weird out there. Maybe they... that's the only way. You're spending so much money on re-signing your players that you can't re-sign all of your players, and you can't make major signings in free agency additions, I should say. But maybe they go the route of letting guys walk. If you want the major additions, you're going to have to let a lot of these guys walk. And which ones will they do? Because they already said, they came out and said they need to add the weapons, receivers, tight ends. If it's the draft, okay. But if you're talking free agency or trading for guys, where's that cap space coming from? Maybe you're not getting back Brady. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not getting back Kyle Van Noy and some of these other guys. So it's a very tough situation to be in here. And then the major signings, I would really like Eric Ebron. I would like a guy like Austin Hooper better. But I don't think he is. I think he'll be back in Atlanta. And then Hunter Henry's a possibility too. I really would like Ebron. I really like Ebron for some teams, and then the rest of the teams I hate Ebron for. It's kind of one of those players. The Patriots is one that I would really like. As I'm talking about tight ends, like I said, I like Austin Hooper. Hunter Henry, I almost, I could really just start over, make this video again, and put Hunter Henry in there, and it would be almost, I would like it just as much. So I think you get my point there. Then Jason Peters, like I said, they need another left tackle here. They could grab the veteran Jason Peters. It's kind of tough though, because it seems like he's constantly getting injured. But having the veteran there with the young guy, and Isaiah Wynn, that could be ideal because of the cap space situation. You're not going to spend a whole bunch of money. You would love to have an Anthony Costanzo, but you have nowhere near the money there. And then we let Jamie Collins walk in free agency. There's a possibility you get him back for cheaper because he's only succeeded with the Patriots, it feels like. So maybe he would come back for cheap. But it seems like the Patriots can make, not everybody, but they kind of can find another one, make another Jamie Collins of what he did this year. It's kind of just a system thing, it feels like. And to me, Kyler Fackrell could be, that clone almost of Jamie Collins. We've seen him kind of off the ball at times with the Packers, but kind of most of the time kind of a pass rusher at the same time, and didn't play a whole bunch. But when he did play, he was pretty productive, mainly looking at 2018 because they did get the big-time pass rush this year. To me, that's kind of that same exact fit if they can't get Jamie Collins back. And it's gonna be cheap for sure, way cheaper than Jamie Collins. So that was kind of my thinking there. And then we go to the 7th-round mock. I took a receiver in the first. There's a lot of receivers I really like in the first round. Jalen Reagor from TCU. Excited to watch him at the Combine coming up next week because this guy absolutely flies. Absolutely flies. You get him the ball in any way. And what people make a mistake on him with is they look, maybe, he's just under 6 foot. The guy can absolutely fly quick, fast, twitchy, elusive. So people automatically assume, that's the type of receiver he is. Is he going to go up and catch the ball? Does he have a catch radius? This guy has a catch radius. He knows how to track the ball. He knows when to jump. He can get up. He's a freak, absolute freak. There's a negative for Jalen Reagor in why he might not go first. It's because it's not really a huge negative on his specific game. It's more for TCU, and that's why I still have him in the first. It's because when you watch Jalen Reagor, he's almost every single time lined up outside on the wide out on the right side. Sometimes they're run. There was times where he lined up on the left or in the slot, very few, and there was times where he lined up on the left. They would put him in motion to the right. So that was odd. You think the guy would be familiar with some other spots, play some other spots. What's the reasoning for it? Another thing, it's either he ran a end around, a go, or a screen pass. There really wasn't anything else, and that's kind of TCU's fault. But I guess that's a little scary. But this is this is an athlete that would love to pair with N'Keal Harry for the future. And at pick 87, they do need another safety. Brandon Jones here, really from that Texas defense. Really the only bright spot for me this year, maybe minus a couple other players. So they definitely could use a guy that can be plug-and-play starter right away. In defensive line, there's some holes on the defensive line, so you add another one that can move around in some spots here. Devon Hamilton from Ohio State. And Michael Divinity, I think, is a big-time sleeper. Missed some games this year, but a big-time pass rusher, and could potentially kind of be another one of those Patriots-type pass rushers. Are they an off-the-ball linebacker? Are they a pass rusher? Kind of one of those guys, to fit there at pick 175. And then add another receiver. Now you want another big-body receiver kind of for the rotation. Isaiah Hodgins, he's that big-body guy, good red zone target. It seems like when they're in the red zone, they didn't really know who to use. I would use N'Keal Harry, but it seemed like they had a problem with that. So that's your guy there. Very good body control. I had him signing Eric Ebron, or they can go for the Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, if available. So they still grab a tight end here, kind of grab that sleeper guy, Stephen Sullivan, who was kind of the number 2 tight end for LSU, but pretty damn impressive. And he's the one that has a lot of upside. Needs some tackle depth for the future, so you grab McKivitz from West Virginia, and then Cole McDonald, who I actually don't think will be here at 2018 if I had to put money on it, but in the simulation he was there. I'm probably higher on Cole McDonald than anybody else. He's got crazy arm talent in terms of where he can place the ball, but mainly his arm strength. Interesting with him, though, is his throwing motion. It's a little like Phillip Rivers, which isn't likable, and it's longer than Phillip Rivers. And we know how people overreact from mechanics like that, which it is a concern. But let's just say he had a perfect throwing motion. Cole McDonald would go. He would go in the second round at the latest, I think. I think he has that much talent elsewhere besides that. The throwing motion, kind of hard to get over. It'll be hard to get over for a lot of these guys. He'll drop because 100% there will be teams, GMs, that'll just scratch him right off the board. Not drafting this guy because of that throwing motion. So it's kind of an interesting prospect, but he can throw the damn ball, let me tell you. So that's a guy I kind of like. I'm one to kind of get past maybe that, but it is a little bit of a concern. And maybe could be that sneaky future quarterback of the Patriots. Who knows? They could be looking for that. They're going to need a quarterback of the future, but there are no way to take one, I think, early in this draft. Could be next year, trade away a lot to go up and get one of those, quarterbacks next year. You look, you're going to have to trade away everything to get up Trevor Lawrence, but maybe like a Jamie Newman next year, something along that. We're already talking about next year. I don't know why, but Patriots, rough situation, a lot of free agents, somewhat limited on cap, no second round draft pick. But again, as recording this, the compensatory picks have not come out yet. They're going to get a boatload. So that's the good thing there. And they will be a contender most likely anyway. So that's the good news too. And that goes without saying. But that's going to do it for this one. We're doing this for every single NFL team. A lot already on the channel. There's a playlist full of them. More to come. More NFL content to come. 2 channels. Please subscribe to both. Link in the description for the new one. Please help us out. Please subscribe to that. Twitter, Instagram, links down below as well. Daily posts, answering questions. Follow those as well. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.